Sandhya madam,
Sir,
you ask all the students to join immediately. Just
yes. So they have joined.
hello. Okay. Right. Okay, we can start now, madam. Sunita madam.
Yeah.
Sir is also the principal governor, right? Yeah.
A very good afternoon to one and all. I am Sunita, Assistant Professor of English from the Department of Sciences and Humanities. At the outset, I extend a warm welcome to all of you for today's webinar, The Successful Me. To embark upon, let me come up with the words aptly said by the late APJ Abdul Kalam. Teaching is a very noble profession that shapes the character, caliber, and the future of an individual. If the people remember me as a good teacher, that will be the biggest honor to me. This would be the intention and the strong desire of every teacher present over here. Being it a holiday, yesterday we could not wish each other Happy Teachers' Day to all the teachers over here. On this occasion, following the path of leading the student,
Madam, audio is not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I audible, sir? No?
Yeah. Now audible.
Yes. A very good afternoon to one and all. I am K. Sunita, Assistant
Yeah,
Professor.
it's okay. Okay.
Just. Okay, sir. Following the path of leading the students towards a successful career who have just begun the journey, the Department of Sciences and Humanities is conducting this webinar. Now it's a movement of immense future to welcome the dignitaries who are present here to attend the workshop. It's a privilege to invite the Principal, Mathrusri Engineering College, Dr. Dhinman Garu, to this webinar. A very good afternoon, sir, and a warm welcome. Thank you, sir. Thank you for being with us. It's my pleasure to invite the Vice Principal of our college, Dr. M. Venugopal Garu, to today's occasion. A very good afternoon and welcome, sir. I'm highly delighted to invite the head of the Department of Sciences and Humanities, besides the convener of today's webinar, Dr. T. Shekaram Garu, to this webinar. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
Let me now invite, and it gives me profound pleasure of inviting today's speaker, Nithya Sriram Garu.
Madam, HODs. Invite all HODs.
Yeah. Warm welcome to all the HODs present over here. Thank you for sparing your time, sir. A warm welcome to you all. To all the heads of the departments of different streams. Now I take pleasure in inviting our today's speaker, Nithya Sriram Garu, an educational psychologist, inclusion expert, pedagogy specialist, career coach, and mentor. A very warm good afternoon, ma'am, and hearty welcome to Mathrusri Engineering College. I extend my hearty welcome to the faculty members and dear students. Let us start the program with an invocation song by GVL Shruti of first CSCA. Shruti?
Yes.
You can start, Shruti.
वैष्णवी भार्गविवार देवी त्रिगुणात्मिकी विंध्य विलासी वाराही त्रिपुरांबिके भगवती विद्यांबे भगवती सर्वार्थ साधिके सत्यार्थ चंद्रिके मंत्रात्मिके मां पाहि मातंगे मायात्मिके भार्गवी वाग्देवी त्रिपुरात्मिके विंध्य विलासिनी वाराही त्रिपुरांबिके ఆలోచనామృతము సాహిత్యము సహిత హిత సత్యము సారదాస్తన్యము సారస్వతాక్షర సారథ్యము జ్ఞాన సామ్రాజ్యము జన్మ సాఫల్యము సరసవచోద్దిని సారసలోచని వాణి పుస్తకధారిణి వర్ణాలంకృత వైభవశాలిని వర కవితా చింతామణి మాం పాహి సాలోక్య సంధాయిని మాం పాహి శ్రీచక్ర సింహాసిని వైష్ణవి భార్గవి వాగ్దేవి త్రిగుణాత్మికే వింధ్య విలాసిని వారాహి త్రిపురాంబికే भवती विद्यां देहि भगवती सर्वार्थ साधिके सत्यार्थ चंद्रिके मां पाहि महनीय मंत्रात्मिके मां पाहि मातंगी मायात्मिके. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Shruti. Now, I request our principal, Dr. Dhinman garu, to speak a few words on this occasion.
So, good afternoon, one and all.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
First of all, I would like to convey my best wishes on the occasion of Teachers' Day. Happy Teachers' Day to all of you, all my colleagues.
Thank you, sir.
So, actually, we thought of having this kind of a program the college itself, since it's yesterday is a holiday, so we deferred it to today. So thank Nithya Sriram madam for immediately accepting our invitation for a small talk to all our faculty. So hope this lecture will help all the faculty and apt to the Teachers' Day celebrations. So once again, I thank the SNH department for organizing in a short notice, because all these days we don't know when we can conduct and when we can come for the college and when we're going to be pandemic, whether we are permitted to gather in a group or not. So in the last minute, we arranged an online session, so which was materialized how it is today's program. So I hope the deliberations today definitely helps all the teaching staff as well as students. So thank you once again, madam, for immediately accepting our invitation. Thank you one and all the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Nithya, madam.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. Let me take the privilege of sharing information about today's speaker, Nithya Sriram garu. At the foremost, thank you so much, ma'am, for accepting our invitation and presiding over the meeting. It was a very short duration, but then also you have accepted a sense of gratitude to you. Coming to ma'am's profile, ma'am is at present, she is an educational psychologist and experiential learning and coach. And besides that, coming to her qualifications, she has acquired her master's in psychology from University of Madras and finished diploma in special education from RCI. Apart from these, ma'am has manifolded many courses, few of which are career guide counselor certificate at both the levels, basic and advanced, and rational emotive behavior therapy from Albert Ellis University, just from New York, and cross motor training from ITARD. Coming to the different modules delivered by ma'am are like academic planning for engineering students, career planning and mentoring, preparing the students for interviews in this cutthroat competition, and leadership grooming, lateral thinking and decision making, and many more personality traits. Ma'am has counseled more than 3,000 engineering students, an added feather to her cap, and she mentors nearly 25 plus students personally every year. She has been counselor for even working professionals too. And a very big list of engineering colleges are being the clients of ma'am. Almost in South India, almost all the colleges are the clients of ma'am. She regularly visits there, and her programs, her words, there they do really magic, and the students get utmost benefit from ma'am's words. This is actually a very short description of ma'am's profile, as it's a limited time. I need to, or else I should have gone for 5 more minutes. No doubt in that, such a good profile and big profile ma'am's is. And we are highly elated that you are amidst us today, ma'am. And your wonderful words and interaction with our students certainly help them to reach their desired success. Thank you. Thank you very much. Over to you, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Kindly let me know if I'm audible clearly.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And I would like to present my slide. Before I go into that, very happy Teachers' Day to all the esteemed teachers here. Kindly accept my venerable salutations to you all. I think this is one profession that has proved that with time and whatever the hurdles that you people face, you are likely to come out on it, because I think that's the cornerstone of teaching, where where teachers believe in continuous learning. So kindly accept my felicitations on this Teachers' Day. Thank you for having me here. I would like to thank Dr. K.P. Srinivasa Rao, Chairman, Dr. Anumant Rao, Principal MECS, and Dr. Shekaram. It was wonderful connecting with you, sir, yesterday, Head of the Department. Mr. Vishnu, and of course, Mr. Pawan, who was coordinating with me from morning. Thank you all for having me here and giving me this honor. It's always a pleasure to talk to students and teachers. In the last 1 year, I think the one topic that has been always continuously in the news is how the education system is morphing, or how the education system is changing, how to go about it, how to overnight suddenly we had to close down schools and colleges, but we couldn't stop learning. We could not have stopped learning. So we had to morph the system. Now we have something called the hybrid system, where certain things you learn offline, certain things you have learned online. I request all the students to give a big round of applause to your teachers and your lecturers, your college and management, for taking on the challenge of still keeping the doors of knowledge open for all of you. So fantastic job there. The topic for today that I've chosen is can I share my video, sir? I mean, I think I have the rights to share. Right? So the topic that I've chosen today is the successful me. So why the successful me? Because that is something that seems to be suddenly very uncertain, right? Because we are suddenly in a position where things are not in the normal condition, where we have to overnight, we had to kind of wake up to a different kind of world, where we had to be shut down all our economic activities, all our day-to-day routines, and then sit at home, which in itself was a big challenge for us. So the successful me, this is one topic I felt that it would be apt for both the teachers as well as students, because success is that one word that we are continuously actually aiming for. So is there a single definition for success? What is success to you mean? Just think, take a minute and think, what would you consider success? Wouldn't it be different for different person? For a person who's down with COVID, probably for him success would mean getting back to normal health, successfully beating the virus and getting back to the normal self. For a kid who is just learning to crawl and stand on his leg, standing without support might be a success. For an octogenarian, doing his day-to-day, his or her day-to-day routine without aid, without losing their dignity, might be success. For a student, it might be as simple as submitting your assignments on time or writing your exams successfully. For a teacher, I know the challenges were abound in the last year where learning the technology to conduct classes, to making the classrooms more effective in spite of not physically being present. These would mean success. These are also success. Success doesn't always mean that you are either an Alibaba or an Elon Musk. Success is not defined just by materialistic or just by getting your bank balance up. Yes, that is a byproduct, definitely a byproduct. The accolades that you get, the bank balance that goes up are definitely byproducts of your success. But that alone might not define success for each and every person. For all those immigrant workers coming back and settling down in a job might have been a success. For all those roadside vendors reopening their shops and earning a daily wage might have been a success. For all the mid-management level people, success might mean not losing their job. So how do you measure success? What is your yardstick for success? For some of us, it might mean the dreams that have turned into reality. If so, congratulations. Each and every dream that changes into a reality, whether it is buying a bicycle, a car, or upgrading your car to a BMW, it is all success. So definitely celebrate your success. How do you know when you have been successful? When do you call yourself successful? I am also a teacher. Like Sunita ma'am just said, I love teaching special needs kids. So my recognition, I actually pride myself on calling myself a special educator more than a coach or a mentor. Because as a special educator, every class is a challenge for me. And every small thing that I've taught to these kids is a success for me. So you know you have been successful when you perceive the smile on the faces of your loved ones. When you have achieved that content, that happiness, that is success for me. Maybe it is different for you. So it is up to you. So I'm going to give you a minute to just think what success means to you and what goals do you have in your next short term or your long term goals, and how are you planning to measure these successes. So just take a minute there and write it down probably, because in today's edition, I generally don't believe in just giving gyan or just talking about things that are out there. I mean, there are too many portals for you to learn all those things from. I always believe in giving a good takeaway. The learning outcome has always been something that is very, very important to me. So I am going to share some techniques, share some insights on how you gain success, whether it is a short-term goal of losing weight or maybe getting a very good grade in your next upcoming exam, or getting a promotion in your department, or just getting another certification to add to your resume. Whatever it is, however you want to call this as a success, I'm going to give you some techniques on how these can be measured and how you can convert your routine into a successful one. For the students, it's a very, very simple mantra of cup. Why a cup? Now, if I ask all of you to raise your hands, those of you who know ABCD, kindly raise your hands. I'm sure all of you must be raising your hands. But without blinking an eye, if I ask what is the 12th alphabet or the 13th alphabet, some of you might, some of you might not. So there is nothing that we know or we know enough. There's nothing called we know enough. There is still more ways to learn things, still more ways to use or apply the knowledge that we have. For that, the first step is concentration. Concentration on the here and now. I know many of you, if I know students well, because I meet around 10 to 15 students in my routine job day to day, all in the adolescent age group. This program is now streaming on YouTube, I know. It will be switched on because you have to show the student count, but your dhyan will be somewhere else. Your concentration is elsewhere. We always need to be alert to where we learn from. There is no saying whether we will be learning something here or not. It is always good to be alert and concentrating on the here and now. Understanding. How much of it do you understand? How much of it are you imbibing? Many of you, I realize that one of the major mistakes that kids do is when the teacher is teaching, they kind of, if they are not auditory learners, especially, they tend to switch off and then they kind of say, it's there in the textbook, I'll read it later on. But there is something that your teacher has that you will never ever be able to get from your textbook, and that is called the teacher's learning experience. The teacher also learns along with you. What the teacher, the professor taught in the last year, he or she might change it into this year because she or his learning or from the last year might be, if I present this example, the concept is not learned properly. So that means I have to do it differently. So that understanding, that experience is what you will not get on a YouTube video or on your textbooks. So kindly pay attention, understand, imbibe what is being said to you, and then putting it to practice. There is no point in saying, I will do it at the end of the year or just before the exams, I can just cram everything. Yes, you can. You will definitely pass, but just don't expect 8.5 or 9 CGPA, which the corporates will be expecting from you. You can pass, definitely pass, but maybe not with flying colors. So, CUP is the simplest student success mantra that I've come across over the years. Just concentration in the class, understanding then and there, and then putting it to practice. Simple as that. Your success and happiness lie in you, said Helen Keller. Now, Helen Keller, I'm sure many of you know, she's a person again who had to overcome a lot of odds to learn to become literate. She was, for all purposes, deaf and blind, but not dumb actually. But since she could not hear the sounds, she could not reproduce the sounds either. So if she can learn, why not us? If she can educate herself, why not us? So your success and happiness definitely lie in you. Now, I'm a psychologist, educational psychologist by profession. So I use a lot of psychological techniques that work for the student community. And there are few insights about the student learning methodology or their psyche that I have, that I've seen over the past few 10 years or so that I've been in this field. I know that you like instant results, instant gratification, because you people are so used to playing your video games and stuff like that. Android mobile, even I'm so used to Android mobiles. I don't, and no longer do we like to actually type in messages. In fact, we have come to a level where instead of typing, it is easier to just press the record button and then record a message and send it across. So instant results, yes. Attention span, obviously, has definitely has come down very drastically for all of us. It's not just the students, for the teachers, for me, for everyone. During the last 1.5 years, especially, attention span has come down really down. Third is the overload of information that we have out there, and the access. Earlier, also the information was available, but the access was for certain people, and the access was for certain avenues. But now all information is available to everyone, and the access is available to every kid, right from kindergarten to 99 year old. Everybody has access to this information. So how do we sift through this information? How do we know what is it we want? So that's when the role of a coach or a mentor comes in. We kind of guide you on where to look for what. So I don't know if you're familiar with the term cybernetics. So psycho-cybernetics was the term coined by Maxwell Maltz. He was a American cosmetic surgeon and author. So over a period of time and during the World War I, he saw a lot of changes that people were going through. And he found out it is all about the belief in ourselves. It is all about self-image. It's all about self-image that actually helps in succeeding or allowing people to overcome certain mental blocks and then succeeding in their chosen avenue. So this self-image, what is self-image actually? Lot of kids I know, or even myself, like if you ask me what is my idea of myself, yes, I'm a successful psychologist, I'm a very good trainer, I'm an excellent teacher probably for special needs kids, all that fine. But when it comes to my self-image, I'm saying, oh, maybe I should lose little more weight. Maybe I should be doing this. There is always that bit of self-doubt in all of us. Now, how do we work, make this is it possible for somebody to be so perfect that they don't have any problem with their self? Definitely not. Then we are not humans. We become robots, right? So definitely not. All of us will have that small doubt about something somewhere is not right here. She is able to carry herself so well. I'm not able to. That person, oh, look at him. He's so successful. He's got a bungalow. He's got a car. I'm also trying so much, but I'm still not able to get it. That self-doubt or that self-image, he found we and in my experience too, it has worked wonders with people, especially some of them who undergo trauma. So when we treat people with trauma, we have seen that when their self-image improves, automatically their self-worth improves and they are able to overcome the trauma and then be a better version of themselves. Now, the thing that all of us are talking about, personality development, if you want to be succeed, you have to be holistic, you have to have a well developed personality, well rounded personality. All this personality development is based on your belief of what is it that makes you unique. All of us are definitely unique, and how am I unique, and what works for me, what is actually that one thing that makes me a little different or little hatke from everybody else. That belief system is what forms the foundation or the rock bed for personality. So once you know that, then you are able to actually mold yourself much better. Now, your brain is a wonderful organ, and for those of you who are interested in reading like me, you can. There is a book called Telltale Brain by Dr. V.S. Ramakrishna. He's a scientist based out of US, and a wonderful book. Again, in that also, he also talks about how your brain actually believes whatever you tell the brain. As a kid, you would have noticed that your parents would have told you, don't go there, you're likely to get, they'll give you some ideas, right? If you touch that, this will happen, or don't go there, this will happen. And you believe them. And you obviously grew up with this belief that this is likely to happen. Some of the superstitions that we follow might all be belief systems based like this. So the brain kind of believes whatever you tell it. So instead of telling it negative things, how different would it be if you tell it positive things? Now, when I say positive things, is it possible only to have positive thoughts? Definitely not. So what I suggest is you give it a very practical or a very practical thing about yourself. You kind of construct an image about yourself that you want to achieve, and then tell the brain, okay, this is what I am, this is how I am, and I want to achieve this. And your brain will tell you ways on how to achieve it. It will show you the pathway how to achieve that particular dream vision of yourself. You are that human being. That is the simplest of mantra that you need to uh, actually tell your brain. So imagination is the key for this. So the more you imagine, the more you visualize a successful you, the better you are likely to reach your success. Third one is take time to relax. Um, I don't know. I This is something. When I say relax, I don't know what you people actually visualize. I have teenage daughters too, so I know what for them relaxing means. A phone like this with the headphones plugged in and then laying around or lazing around, that's relaxation for them. Maybe works for them, maybe not. Now, it is very good to have a proactive lifestyle, And I know when you are relaxing like this, where, ma'am, we would like to relax, but my mom, my dad, they're always like, why are you wasting your time? You're just vegetating around. Why are you doing this? Or if I ask your professors, they might actually say, where, ma'am, is the time to finish? Now that we are working online, offline, and then I have to do all the household chores and so much more. Now I have to pay attention to my kids' education also because it's online. So where is the time to relax? But it you have to find the time to relax. I'm not like saying, okay, by the end of the year, I'll take 10 days off or 15 days off. That is not relaxing. Every day, 30 minutes is compulsion for you to relax. Like how we say 8 hours of sleep is essential, 30 minutes of relaxation is also essential in a day. Now, when I say relaxation, it is without all the digital media, without chit chatting, just doing something that you actually feel good about. So that kind of relaxation is very essential. Now, even before I've started giving you techniques about success, why am I talking about relaxation? Why am I talking about relaxing first? And then I'm going to be talking about how you should actually be working. Because a well rested body and mind is more productive than a body or mind that has been constantly in use. It's like your air conditioning system, or it's like your car. You have to service it, right? If you wanted to take it on a long drive, you need to service it. You need to fill up the tank. So definitely similarly like that, your brain and your body needs to be relaxed for you to actually do something productive and proactive. So that is very, very essential. Now, Will Durant, he said, forget mistakes, forget failure, forget everything except what you're going to do now and do it. Very easy to say, right? Very, very easy to say. Right? Okay, I'll put this into action. And you will say, okay, I'll forget about all my past unit test, last year's semester exam, everything I've finished. I want to forget about all that failure. Let me concentrate on this now. And then you'll take your book and somebody walks into your room and says, again wasting time. Last semester itself you failed. Again, this time also you're doing the same thing. So gone out of the window. Again, you start dwelling on what your parents or your teacher or somebody else is telling you about failure. Now, that is why we need to also know how to make failure work for us. So, letting go of past failures doesn't mean I'm going to shove it inside a room and lock it up and then say it doesn't exist. That is not what I mean. What I mean is you have to accept your failure at some point and then say, okay, let me try doing it differently, or let me do different. Actually practicing certain things in such a way that you succeed. And the other one is knowing how you failed or why you failed so that you do not repeat the same mistake and end up. So, you know that Thomas Alva Edison very famously said, I failed 10,000 times before I found an electric bulb. And I know 10,000 ways that it will not work. So that is how you make failure work for you. So going ahead, I am going to be talking about how how you need to actually keep your failures also in mind for you to succeed. So all these small failures that you undergo in college, or small trials and tribulations that you undergo, simple challenges like time management that you undergo on a daily basis, these are all learning curves, and these all mold you into that successful person at a later stage. Now, I've talked about relaxing, which is for your mind and body, and I've talked about your emotional status where you let go of your failures. Now I'm going to be talking about your mental status where you need to be happy doing what you do. There is absolutely no point in doing something which you are not at all happy about. So why should you be happy when you're doing something? Have you looked at small kids, very young ones? You give them anything, they'll immediately put it on their mouth. And they're very happy about it. You just clap your hands in front of them and they are very happy. They'll also clap their hands along with you. For them, these simple things, you should observe these small kids because they teach you what it is to be happy, what it is to be actually content. Nowadays, the one complaint that I have from parents of tweens and pre-teens is he's always grumpy, ma'am, never satisfied, because we have let go of small happiness, small things. Hopefully this corona has taught us one thing is like to enjoy life as and when we get it, as and when, because otherwise we don't know when they are going to put us back in the home and lock us up. So probably it has taught us that. Hopefully it has taught us that. But being happy is an essential and integral part for you to succeed. If you are not happy, how much ever hard work, how much ever effort you put in, time and effort you put in, you are not going to succeed. So learn to be happy. Now, to be happy, now we come to the more practical way of doing these things. So how to make success work for us is, first you need to define your path. Now, this is what I said. When I said take it and think about your short-term and your long-term goals. So for me, my immediate short-term goal is I am actually doing a project with one of my colleagues, and we are kind of trying to think about how to teach kids critical thinking methods, or how to enhance critical thinking methods in kids from rural areas as well as from what would you call government schools. So for us, that for that project to work, we need a lot of research things. So I am kind of back on my research. So I have set a deadline for myself. Like, okay, I want to finish the first part of the questionnaire by the end of September. So that is a short-term goal. Now for me, once I define the path, now I know what is success. What would be short successes for me? When I have read through the literature, when I know what kind of questions to ask, and I get a rough draft of the first questionnaire, then that is success for me. So define your path. That is very essential. You should know where you're going. Oh, I'm going to be a graduate. Yes, you will be a graduate. Yes, you will be called an engineer. But what is your career option? What is it you want to do? What kind of job are you looking for? Now, these jobs are all your short-term goals, because as you jump from one job to other, or one job description to the other, your career is actually going up. So you need to know where is it you want to reach? What is your career? So what is your job? First, what should be my first kind of job? What is it I want to do? So these will be your short-term goals. So for that short-term goal also, you should have success steps. Okay, if I do this, then I'm going to be successful in this. Once after 2 years, if I'm applying for a MS, I should get it with a good research scholarship. That means I have to do well in my GRE. So for me to do well in GRE, I have to start preparing now. So those are the kind of backward integration you should be doing for you to succeed. Now, what is success mechanism? So this is success mechanism. Having a sense of direction. Like I said, having your goals in place. Whether it is a short-term goal or a long-term goal, having your goals in place is a first step in your success mechanism. Comprehension. Now, why is comprehension very important? I've been talking for the past 15-20 minutes. I'm going to be talking for another, let's say 15-20 minutes. I know what I want to talk about. I know who Maxwell is. I know what his mechanism means, and I know what I'm saying. But am I communicating it to you correctly? Is there going to be any takeaway for all the people sitting out there? If not, absolutely no point in me. It's like suddenly Einstein jumps in between us and starts talking about the theory of relativity, because that is one theory nobody has actually understood well or taught us well. So theory of relativity, it's like that. It's going to be like that. If I don't understand what I am, what my idea is all about, what my thought process is all about, and if I'm not able to communicate that, that is even worse a scenario. So comprehension is one thing that is very essential, which in turn means that you need to work on your communication skills. Courage. What courage means here? Courage here means facing new problems. having the courage to fail in those when you're facing new challenges. If you are not good at talking, or if you are not good at let's say you're not very great at cooking, trying it out again and again till you get it right, that courage to fail again and again, that is courage. You should never say, oh, this is looks like very tough, I don't want to do. When I coach, recently I have a very senior level person, management person, who's undergoing coaching with me. Believe me, they also need coaching. So I gave him a couple of books, and then I asked him to read it and come. I had given him 2 weeks time, and I asked him to read it and come. So after the 2 weeks, we sit down for the next session, and then I'm asking you what is your takeaway and all, and he's kind of reciting everything. Okay, these are my takeaways, these are my things and all. I said, okay, well, Mr. Das, did you really read through this? And he said, yeah, I did. When did you find the time to read this? When did you redo a Kindle copy, or did you buy a paperback copy, or how did you do this? Or was it an audio? And then he says, no, Nithya, I didn't have time. So I just read through the summary. So for each of us, like I showed in that first picture where I was talking about success mantra, the cup will differ for each of us. Each of us will have different sets of skill sets, and our imbibing techniques are totally different. So each of our cup, when it differs, that means we also have different preferences. You might like coffee, I might like tea, somebody else might like soda. So trying to imbibe or trying to read and imbibe what is given, that facing that new challenge, even if it is difficult, saying, yes, I'm going to try and wade through this, that courage is very essential. I know reading is one dying art amongst the younger generation thanks to the visual media, but please do imbibe, please do read, because what you understand will depend on you. And what I am trying to tell you might be based on my understanding, my experiences. So definitely face new problems. Charity. Why is charity important to be successful? Because that is when your idea expands, when you are thinking inclusive. How is this idea going to impact the people around me? How is it going to impact those around them? So that is where your charity comes. So once you do something, and that charity, when I take away the pain of a parent in saying that though your child is a special needs child, and they can still lead a very dignified and independent life, I'm actually impacting somebody's family. The family immediately becomes much more courageous, and it actually blooms right in front of your eyes. So that charity, think inclusive. I'm not talking about just special needs, I'm talking about any kind of idea. Swiggy, whoever started Swiggy, he was not thinking about himself, probably about himself. Oh, I have to travel, go all the way and pick up that food. I wish somebody could deliver it to me. Definitely. But the idea took on such a big, became so successful because we were able to adapt it across all. It gave jobs for some people. It helped the restaurants to still function during Corona, as well as it solved the problems of many people who would otherwise have gone hungry. So that kind of work, that kind of idea, so that is charity. Once you do this, you immediately your self-esteem goes up. Immediately your self-esteem goes up. You are here, you will start believing that you are here to succeed. So once that first success is the most precious, and so is the first failure. I'll talk to you about it in a short while, how you can make that failure actually your stepping stones to success. So your self-esteem immediately goes up. So once your self-esteem goes up, obviously your self-confidence goes up. And once your self-confidence goes up, then your self-assurance goes up. Then you start realizing that nobody is perfect, but the way I am, I know what will work for me, and I know how to succeed. So that is A very funny anecdote is I'm not great at cooking, okay? And so I had to make this vada. It's a part of all our festivals, right? Making a vada. South Indian families without vada, there's nothing. So every time I tried making the vada, either the batter will be too runny or it will be so hard. And afterwards, if I hit somebody with that vada, their head will break. I've had wonderful experiences with the vada. Finally, I decided, okay, enough is enough. As I'm growing older, it will look very awkward if I tell my kids that I don't know how to make vada. So I have to learn it. So I asked one of my neighbors to teach me how to make a proper medu vada. So she gives me all the ingredients, measurements, and stuff like that, and her special techniques and everything. First time I wanted to make after she taught me all this, and I also made her show me a demo. I said, I'm going to come to your place and then only grind the batter. Probably my mixie also will not work the way your grinder or mixer will work. So I'm going to come there. And I also want you to check on the consistency because she told me the consistency is the key to having a soft vada. So I went there and then I ground. Now you know what I do? I have a specific measurement cups for my making my vada. Okay, this much of urad dal, this much of rice, and I soak it for so many minutes, and then I grind it perfectly like this. Then I make the vada. To some extent, while I'm still not great, at least my vada as a whole, and it does look like a vada. Okay, so nobody is perfect, but your self confidence. Now I am okay with displaying my vada to people outside, saying, okay, yes, I also made a vada. So that is very, very essential. That self-esteem, self-confidence, and self-assurance, they go hand in hand. If you have noticed people who are successful, you always see something about them, right? The moment you see them, you think, this person must be really successful. The way they're carrying themselves. Something in them tells you that this person is very self-confident. They know how to carry themselves. He's so self-assured when they are talking about it. So that is because it's a cycle. You succeed, all this comes to you, and you have all this, success automatically follows. Got it? So this is actually a success mechanism. Now, all this is fine, ma'am. This is all for people who are successful. What about us? I tried so many things. I did this, I did that, but I'm still failing again and again and again. What is happening with me? So now we go on and see what failure mechanism is all about. Now, failure has a lot of symptoms: frustration, aggressiveness, insecurity, loneliness, uncertainty, resentment, emptiness, different. All these are just some basic symptoms that you see. Whenever a client is referred to me for therapy, mostly they come with all these things. Very aggressive. Child is very aggressive in school, or is very aggressive towards his sibling. Or there might be people who are very insecure. I'm very lonely. I don't have anybody. I'm depressed. And I don't know why, but teenagers these days seem to have a very great penchant for saying, I'm very depressed. Okay. So uncertainty, resentment, all this. So these are all what you would call a symptom for failure. So generally in my therapy sessions or my coaching sessions, what I do is I check out where is it they failed. So where is it they failed? Once I see where is it that they have failed, then I ask them to take me through the process. It's a kind of a catharsis. And then we see why they have failed, how or why did the strategy that they have, what actually, or which part of the strategy actually failed, and then how did they fail, which is their failure of practice. So once you know these three things, actually you can tweak them a little bit. The questions that you ask are very, very important. Let's say, I'll give you a good example from my recent counseling thing. This girl has been repeatedly, for the last 2 years, she's been writing her NEET entrance. But somehow her marks have not improved, and she has started becoming very kind of subdued and started thinking that she is a failure. Okay. So the parents bring me, the idea of the parent for bringing her to counseling was so that I will tell her what other subjects she can actually take. But before I tell her that, I wanted to ask her to take the NEET exam one final time, but by following the techniques that I am actually going to be prescribing or working with her on. So I went through all the reports with her on her three attempts of NEET that she had written, and I asked her which questions she found easy, which she found difficult, how she was practicing, and all those things. So as we were doing, I saw that her conceptual maps were not actually complete. While she knew the core concept, she was not very competent in connecting them to the different topics, or the subsequent topics. So that was one point. Second point was, because she was doing it in an online portal, what she used to do is she used to click, and then when it said wrong, she used to try clicking another. So that's not how you do, right? You need to be sure of the answer that you are writing. So that is another thing. And the practice itself was not very consistent. So once I went through this, okay, she has not yet given her next NEET exam. She's going to be giving, but now she seems to be much more confident, and she's more open to supposing this time also she doesn't get a C, though she's very sure she will be getting a very good mark. She might, because of her community, she might not be getting into doctor, but she's open to other areas of learning. So that is how you make failure work for you. Every failure is a learning in disguise. So you need to check out where is it. It's not about putting away the failure and then hiding it. I have seen parents who come and they don't want to agree, or they don't want to reveal that their child has failed actually. Without saying that, they will give me all one big story they will paint. Ma'am, this is why he was not able to write the exam properly, this, that, and all they will tell me, without telling me why the child has failed. So then this particular failure is always an indication of something going wrong somewhere. So definitely you need to pay attention to your failures too. Disinhibiting yourself. This will probably resonate with a lot of you professors out there sitting there. At some point, we all get into a comfort zone. We are very, very comfortable. We say like, "Oh, I know everything. I know enough." So, but I'm not very confident. Even if you have the talent, many of you might not be putting it forward, saying that I don't think I can succeed in this. I don't want to go in the public and talk. I don't want to do this. I don't want to present anything. So disinhibiting yourself. This is true for all age groups, especially kids who are suddenly put in a group or asked to do an individual thing. You will see this kind of inhibition in themselves because they start judging themselves based on their previous experiences. And last but not the least, your mind is your asset. It is the greatest asset. It is the most fascinating organ that you can find. And that's probably because I'm a psychologist. Obviously, for me, it kind of fascinates me no level. But over a period, as a psychologist, I have used it to control emotions. I have taught it ways to teaching autistic kids do maths. Why should I teach autistic kids do math? Because math is a life skill where if the child is left alone and he's got to go to a bank and transact, or to go to a nearby store, kirana store, and then transact, the child should be able to do it. So mind can be trained to all these things. There is no stopping the mind from working for you. Use your mind to succeed. It is as much as you feed it the positive or the visualization that you will succeed. So imagine if you're feeding it YouTube videos, unnecessary videos, masala videos, K-pop stuff, and things like that. It'll be happy. It'll think, oh, there's no work for me, so I just have to blandly look at this and keep passive, which is actually started happening in the classrooms as well, where you people have become passive listeners without being active participants. So your mind is your asset. Do not let it go waste. What you sow is what you will reap. So definitely sow some really good seeds there of knowledge, of skill sets. of positivity, of visualization, you will definitely He Doesn't Succeed by Maxwell Maltz. I've actually taken it from his book in 1960 by Psycho-Cybernetics. For those of you interested in reading, its Kindle version is also available. I would like to close this webinar with a dohe from Kabir. करता था सो क्यों किया, अब कर क्यों पछताए, बोया पेड़ बबूल का तो आम कहाँ से खाए. So whatever you've done. So there's no point in regretting or moping around about it after the milk has been spilled. If you have put a people ka seed, how will you be able to eat a mango from that tree? Obviously, because it's not a mango tree. So whatever actions that you're doing, whatever thoughts and whatever ideas you're giving your brain is what it will grow into. So make sure you give it, it's a very fertile area. Your brain is a very, very fertile place. So sow only those seeds that you are really wanting to reap crops of. So be very, very careful in that. With that, I come to the end of this session. If there are any questions or if there are any comments that you would like to share with me, please go ahead.
Good afternoon once again. The last 1 hour was really amazing, ma'am. Superb, simply superb. Like your word, especially mantra of success, has instilled us a small thought to assess ourselves. It took to the past and made us to think about present and our future also. And your mantra is applicable to all ages and stages of life, whether a student or a teacher, irrespective, irrelated to that, for all the ages and for all the stages of life. Superb, ma'am. Thank you so much. I request our HOD sir, Dr. T. Shekaram Garu, to speak few words on this occasion.
Thank you, madam.
Okay, thanks.
Good afternoon, madam. Good afternoon, all. Good afternoon, Nithya, madam.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, it is excellent, madam. We are fortunate to have you today here, and your lecture is enlightening. And there are teachers and also students among the audience, and it will be useful to everybody because man is always a student till his last breath. Definitely there will be something to learn even at the last moment, right? If somebody thinks that he is perfect, there is something imperfection with him, right? He is not perfect. So that is not correct. So always a teacher or a student is always a student, right? So it is excellent and enlightening. And we will have definitely more the sessions, madam. We will definitely get back to you because every year we will conduct induction program for the students of first year, 2 to 3 weeks program, right? And so under the guidance of our principal, right, every year we are conducting many programs, and this time definitely, and we will get back to you, madam, and definitely please give us some time to be with us during the induction program for the students of first year.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Yeah. Thank you very much, madam. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. May I now request Mr. Prashant Kuberkar, Assistant Professor of English, Department of Sciences and Humanities, to propose vote of thanks. Over to Prashant, sir.
Sir, unmute.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Very good afternoon to all of you and happy Teachers' Day to the teaching fraternity present here. I was listening to a talk given by Mr. Deepak Ramola, a life coach, in which he spoke about the great qualities of a teacher, which were given to him by his teacher. And I would like to share with all of you, with your permission. A teacher does not just translate to a guru, but in Sanskrit, there are specific words denoting special qualities of a teacher. The one who provides you information is an adhyapak. One who combines information and knowledge is upadhyaya. One who has in-depth knowledge of a particular subject is a Pandit. One who imparts training on a special skill is called an Acharya. And one who has a visionary view on a subject is a Drishta. And finally, one who truly awakens wisdom within you and guides you to light by dispelling darkness is a Guru. That was wonderful. And my humble obeisances to all the teachers once again. And I, Prashant Kuberkar, Assistant Professor of English, feel privileged and a great joy to propose a hearty vote of thanks to our great speaker, Sri Nithya Sriram Garu, for gracing this occasion by taking out time from her busy schedule. Thank you, ma'am, for your enlightening lecture on this topic, the successful me. It was very inspiring, ma'am, to all of us, especially our students, I'm sure, as you shared your inputs about success, especially the success mantra, which you spoke about, which was concentration, understanding, and practice. That was wonderful, ma'am. And especially the Maxwell Maltz 10 lessons to succeed, like you spoke about imagination, relaxation, especially in this pandemic times because of online classes. There's so much of tension is there in the student's life, and then let go of past failure. That was wonderful, because we have been seeing so many things, especially negative things happening because of pandemic, and then be happy, and then defining your path, success mechanism as well as failure mechanism, because failure should be success, steps to go towards success failure, right? And then disinhibit yourself and mind management techniques. It was really wonderful, ma'am, and it was very captivating. So thank you once again, ma'am, for joining for this program. And now I would like to thank the management of Mathematics Education Society, our beloved Chairman Sir, Dr. K. Srinivas Rao Garu, the Chief Patron for this program, our ever-inspiring Principal Sir, Dr. D. Hanmantrao Garu, Patron for this program, Dr. T. Shekaram Garu, Head SNH Department and Convener of this program, for his encouragement and guidance and giving us the opportunity to organize this wonderful program. And my sincere thanks to the NSS Unit of MECS also. And I also would like to thank my dear colleagues, Mr. T. Vishnu Sir and Dr. N. Pawan Kumar Sir, the coordinators for this program. And last but not the least, my heartfelt thanks to all the participants, faculty members and students for attending this session and making it a grand success. So thank you once again and have a great day. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, Nithya madam, and our coordinators will be in touch with you, madam. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
I request all the participants to switch off your camera once we have a.
Yeah. Please switch on your cameras.
I request all the faculty members to switch on cameras. Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, madam.
Thank you all. Thank you, madam. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all.